had to do was start walking. And we walked 1.5 miles down the OK levee, and still didn't see the truck over here. And then we walked 1.5 miles back to his truck, and what did we find not 300 yards from his truck? It was the truck over. After we had already put in a good 3 miles, 100 degrees, Arkansas. Another great bird of the year was swallowtail kite, and this is just a picture of one, but there were actually two here which is in southeast Arkansas. And these guys stayed for 2 weeks, and this is another rare bird in Arkansas. As you can see, this is their breeding range right here. United States breeding range. So those two were quite a ways off. The second most trip mile-wise was a major trip to southeast Arkansas. The goals for the weekend were wood stork and roseate spoonbill to start with. And here the next one is actually, here's a roseate spoonbill right there. Never fear, this picture actually was not taken in Arkansas. I don't think you can get that close to an Arkansas bird. But anyway, another goal for the weekend for the Switzerland ducks. You see that they have a very limited area in the U.S., but they do breed. There's a small population that breed in southeast Arkansas on a private fish farm. And great news, the owner of the fish farm is actually one of Arkansas's best birders. So there's a 10 right there. Okay, now about this trip. Back to the trip. Right here is Arkansas Post. For about 2 weeks, wood stork and roseate spoonbill has been reported from Arkansas Post south to the Louisiana border. So I had a list of plans for the weekend. I think I had plans A through E mapped out, which is a lot of plans. But we started at Arkansas Post and didn't see the bird. So Dad and I drove down to Arkansas City, where we then got on the Mississippi River levee, and we thought, okay, this is going to be a quick trip. We're just going to see him fly over us. That didn't happen. About 8 hours later, we finally see 8 wood stork here at Grand Lake, and still, by the time we hit the Louisiana border, had not seen roseate spoonbill. And, well, Louisiana, can't count in Louisiana, so we just turned around. It's probably 5 o'clock in the evening at this point. So we turned around and headed all the way back up here. It's not on the map, but McGee, Arkansas, is right in here somewhere, about 45 minutes from Grand Lake. Roads suck. There are no good roads anywhere down there. So we had dinner, get back to the hotel, or sitting in bed. About 7:15 probably, I get a call from Arkansas, from Premier Birding Couple. And they tell me that they have been trailing us on the levee all day long. And they had 2 roseate spoonbills down here at Grand Lake 1 p.m. So Dad and I again are sitting in the hotel room, winding down for the day. At 7:15 I get this call. So what do? We hop back in the car, drive 45 minutes. I think the sun set that day at 7:45. We made it at 7:50 and just had enough light left to see the pink blobs here off the levee by Grand Lake. Happy day. All right. Moving on to fall. I had a well, start with this. This is the first state record of my year. There. And this was a Eurasian widgeon. And this popped up in Crittenden County, which is just east of where I live in Jonesboro. And this was a very, very special bird of the year, probably my favorite. As you can see, they have an extensive range in Europe. And it doesn't show it on this map, but they go all the way over to East Russia, Asia, but the United States only, their range, I don't want to say that they're common in winter on the West Coast, but they're a heck of a lot more common on the West Coast in winter than a trip to Woolsey Wet Prairie in Fayetteville, and when I say a trip to Woolsey Wet Prairie, I mean it was a university visit with benefits. The sole priority was the University of Arkansas, a student high school visit. And it just so happened that there was a rock rim that was a draw, but I didn't get that rock rim actually. But I can't complain about this. We found a spotted togie at Woolsey Wet Prairie, which is a great bird for Arkansas, and it's actually a funny story. There's another birder up here who's a great birder, and he was with our group at Woolsey. He had split off from, I was actually birding with Joe Neal there too. He split off from me and Joe for a little while, for about 45 minutes maybe. And I asked Joe, because by this point it's October, and everything that is common I've kind of knocked out. So I have these lists of desirable birds, and at this point desirable is really just what they are, because you can't predict when these birds are going to show up. And I mentioned to Joe if there was any way that we could find a spotted togie in northwest Arkansas this weekend. And he said, well, I don't know, ask this guy. So we went over there and asked him, and he casually said, well, there's one right over there. There was a spotted togie not 50 yards away, and needless to say, I took off running. And I saw this bird, and I think that was the last time it was seen. So, God love you on that one. The next trip to Southwest East Arkansas, I think they were on a scooter and running here, was to Overflow National Wildlife Refuge, which actually is part of the refuge border of Louisiana. That's how far south it is. Again, the road stuff takes forever to get there, even though it's seasonally it wouldn't. Our goal was common ground, though. They have been seen at this refuge all fall. And I needed this bird, definitely, because they're rare anywhere, but they apparently stay along. Why not? So Dad and I, once again, and actually met up with another bird from El Dorado. She met us over there, and we searched for this little dove, and again, this is maybe even smaller than a dove. These things are tiny, and they just went in and everything. And we checked all these recently